Hello my friends, Nico here from Neuroframes, the AI animation platform out there. I've been doing some interviews with artists using Neuroframes, and while the first two revolved mainly around the visualization of music, this one will be a bit different. My guest today has been creating nothing less than short movies with Neuroframes. The movies of up to 17 minutes length. He is a storyteller of his own kind with a rapidly growing audience on YouTube, and I'm very happy to welcome him to the show.
Ripley, are you sure you don't need me for backup? The engineers seem to have moved away from the containment building, which also means the paid mercs are all dead.
Wolf, go on standby with call. Whether I'll need backup or not, I have to meet this girl alone. She's taken out a couple hundred mercs by herself. Seems like the engineers know I can communicate with her.
Zoe, how's it going?
Well, we finally meet, Nico. It's I'm a big fan, real big fan of your work too. So, and the reason I'm sitting here is because of that. And I tell cosmic tales, with visual narratives, and Aliens is kind of like the particular one I chose. And basically, the reason I chose it is it's very hard to produce the designs, the Giger art designs in it. So unless I had a challenge to work the AI, push the limit on it, I really wouldn't know what I really can do with the AI. And fortunate enough, the last video, which is probably the 17-minute one, it's the longest one I made. And I think I learned a lot in it. I just learned that I'm limiting myself because of myself, not the AI.
How so?
Well, whatever I think I can make through the AI. So if that was a step where a limit broke myself, then I still have more, because once I found out how I can articulate it, it delivered straight up.
Right.
So the alien design itself, the xenomorph. So I would render images through Midjourney, and my favorite is Midjourney so far. The second one I like is ClipDrop, the straight SDXL 1.0. I mean, there's nothing better. It's got a real fast engine process. I click it, within seconds, it's got 4 images right in front of me. So between these two, I'll create my alien, and then I'll put in the custom model. So the custom model is like this. You kind of try to get like a 3 dynamic motion of your whole character or object you're trying to work with. To get it there were like layers of Midjourney's images, and then taking the best from that, and then creating it through the prompt. So, Midjourney is looking at it, okay, this is my standard bar, I got to make it closer. Then out of probably the 50th image, you finally get very close, and that's where you generate your line.
Maybe for the listeners, I implemented this feature maybe 2 weeks ago from today, and 1 week later, this guy published a 17-minute video with basically using you said you were using every feature I have on Neuroframes, but what I definitely could see was custom models, amazing camera motion, and a lot of cuts.
So the modulation you've got, with the audio, I never do like just straight renders. I'm always using a generic audio beat in it, because I've noticed it's easy for transitions. I'll show you right here. All right, so here's a transition coming up.
So cool. I love it. Yeah.
So,
Cool cuts.
so like right here, just save the image, and you'll see my download photo fits with aliens. Anyway, so, and the more you go, like right here. So I will take snippets of this because now I just evolved the frame into that originally I don't even have an image of. I mean, of course, it's using the outlines of the design I have, but not the color style or the little frills it's making on the shoulders. So these kind of things like are evolving your original design, and I will just keep taking snaps now and make custom models from that, which has completely refined the stuff I'm making.
Okay.
If you look at this, I'll tell you, this is the most refined detail, and it's like just really beautiful. Like Alien
That's
fans
awesome.
will tell you, that is complete Giger art. The frills and everything.
Is this made with your custom model, or is this a Midjourney
Yes.
output or something?
Yeah. So yeah,
No, this.
the mid journey is the base. I mean, sorry. The open journey is your base fine tune model, and then the custom I train on it. But the images I trained it with were mid journey. So, but like what I'm trying to say here is that open journey is very capable of delivering the mid journey imagery. It's actually the only one I use throughout most of my stuff. The anime one's really good. One thing I've noticed with the custom trained models is they really pick up on the designs you give them. Like they'll improvise off what they're tuned to already, like the deep learning they already have, but they pick up that art so well, especially with that the SKS command you put on.
So basically, the SKS. So if you type in SKS person, just for the listeners, it tells the AI to depict the object that you trained the AI on. Otherwise, it doesn't know what to depict. Basically, how do you achieve the smooth camera? I mean, is there throughout your videos you have amazing camera travel, very smooth, but like significant somehow. I love that. Do you have some tips there?
I will tell you, it's a lot easier and more stable now since you put the horizontal and vertical.
Okay.
Like I said, these last 2-3 features you've implemented, they have. I'm just like telling you, like it gave me like 10 times more things I can do than I was not doing. Get it? Like with the camera movement and everything, you'll notice I was like rarely touching like the music videos because I just couldn't, the turning of the camera and the others. I mean, they'll work. I've saw people do it, but with the horizontal and vertical, what it does, it stabilizes those turnings real well.
Yeah.
And that actually puts that smoothness into the frames that are changing in between.
And then so as I understood from the discussion we had beforehand, you kind of write the script before
Yes.
you go into newer frames. You write
Yes.
kind of a movie script.
Well, the episode I'm working on with Kara thing was basically I was trying to get me out of the main story of the alien because I really don't want to be there because it's somebody else's baby, not mine. And Kara was, there's very subtle, I think there's a couple of comics that talk about a female human hybrid. And I always loved that idea. So I was like, all right, how do I implement her? Buddy of mine and me got talking and he kind of gave me the idea. So that was at work. We wrote down the story, kind of bullet pointed out how are we going to implement it. And so he actually helped me a lot with the script. And that's one thing I really, it has to be organic. I mean, ChatGPT does a lot of stuff, but I've read some of the auto-generated stuff. And when I asked about, different arcs, you don't even want to know what it was giving me. Holy moly, it was like, nope. ChatGPT is really great with like prompt because it helps. What I usually do is if you're doing prompts for your projects, let's say you're using an art style and quality settings, you can tell it to make a note of those settings, and then you also tell it now whenever I request a visual prompt, you will automatically by default put those in there, so you don't have to, and it does it flawlessly. Because you know how you can have different chats with it, it saves it like a project. You know, you've got your whole archive. So now I'll go to, you know, like, okay, I'm working on this project, and it'll remember those settings, and I'll go and just tell it what I want in the visual prompt. It'll give me with the settings and everything. Because till they figure out how we can just communicate with him audio, and he does it in audio and puts everything in there, I don't want to type those long prompts. Oh my god. So yeah, ChatGPT is really good there, but story-wise,
so it helps you for the prompting. So it helps you for the prompting, basically. You say what you want, and then it helps you for the prompting. It's basically a pimp my prompt on steroids. A DIY pimp my prompt, something a little bit. Cool. Okay. So and what I also saw in your project is you had this super long transition between two prompts, right?
So this you'll see like. Now I'll tell you what that is. It's basically if I rendered right now again over these, what I have you will not see it. So what I have a very tedious rendering process basically, and what that is, I can tell you. Yeah. So basically, what I do is like let's say I put the audio in, right, and I've got my first prompt box, and I'm just gonna put everything to 0 and just let it play those 3 seconds out. I just want to see which direction it's taking. All right, once I see that out, then I'll put like a box somewhere here, and I'll see what it makes, and then I'll put it a little further, and I'm not moving where it stopped. I'm just bringing it forward, and then what'll happen is, like, let's say it got on this prompt, and whatever the settings I had by default there, I'm going to change them all. So when it generates from here, it's changed. With doing that, I save the rendering process. Get it? If I screw it up, because if I go over the prompt again, it's not going to give me what I already got. So this is very, I would say, really, really clean the pot kind of thing. You are really building what you want. Now, I use the checkpoints to keep pulling the image out. If you want to talk, look at it that way. When I'm looking at an image, I'm basically pulling the story out or the direction out I want it to flow or to give me. And I'll just stop here. And yeah, so don't even look at that bar because that will not generate those images again. Like it'll be completely different. Yeah. Literally different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the long fades are they only make sense that I'm just working my direction where I'm going with it.
But you also do you change the camera parameters in between? Because this also
smooth. So let's say over here, from here to here, I was like almost turning the camera real fast, and when I pause it here, I'll completely change the settings and make it go another direction from that point. So yeah, I'm basically using the prompt boxes to kind of pull the image in the direction I'm going. This happens when you have made a lot of videos, and then you kind of looking back, you get to the point where you know what it's going to be doing and what you really want it to do. You're just ahead of it than it being ahead of you. There was I think the AI was ahead of me till I actually found this platform. Literally, I came to the point like I was like, man, I gotta fight the thing more than it gives me what I want. Like, then I was like, all right, it's gonna fine tune itself at some point. It's it's just the age. And I'm going through future tools, and I'm like, what is this neural frames? I go on the website, and as soon as I saw the user interface, I'm like, no way. No freaking way. Literally, okay, and then I take I think it was the neural nights, and I made that video. I'm like, all right, I'm done. This is it. Literally, there was no doubt after I saw, like, it's got a freaking video editing system, user interface, it's got a camera movement, and then I just had to kind of get used to the smoothness and the strength, which was kind of new to me, and now I'm very comfortable, and it's basically anybody. I think Ben would be the best example because I watched a lot of his stuff. Oh, he's crazy about using
Ben
AI.
Nash.
Yes, Ben Nash. And I'm actually looking forward to his Terminator parody. I just saw that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of really, because that's kind of like what I like to do with this kind of stuff. So I really want to see that. And but yeah, the more you play with it, the better you get, or till you get what you want out of it. But to be honest, it's a very sandbox, and which I really like about it. Very sandbox. And at this point, the features you've got, you cannot take any of them out. They gotta stay. You cannot like go back. Okay, guys, I'm taking no. Especially the horizontal and vertical camera. No. And the image now in the prompts. I swear I had that. I was thinking of it for a month, especially when I was making.
I guess before you were rendering sequences and then cutting them together later on, right? I guess you're still doing that in some sense, but now
check this out.
You're also doing a lot.
But okay, so let me just put it in perspective. So I render an image, like a sequence, right? Okay, I know what I'm going to render next. I take the image, make a new project, start that way.
Yeah.
You don't have the previous frames in front of you to kind of mitigate that. And you evolve with the new trick you get. So what I was talking about, like taking images from my frames, saving them in a folder, I replace the next where I'm going to transition. You want smooth transitions? You take your own images that you created and create your transitions.
How do you get the dialogues on? So you're writing the right? Because I could see I can see the challenge that you have a text already written for the characters. Okay, first of all, you need to do some text to speech somehow, I guess. But then also the duration needs to be right of the clips that you're rendering out.
Gwen Archesti Archaneku Weguer Duomos Harchue Women Gwenu Hartway Harcha Equos Gwe Aweti.
Right? So how are you doing these two?
That is, so let's say while I'm making this render, I'll have my dialogue, the Elven Labs is basically what I use.
Okay.
And I'll have the dialogue play, and I'll see how long the render is happening. And if it's like 28 seconds long or something like that, that's where it's fitting. Then I'll kind of extend the render, or I'll have another scene kind of mesh into it. You improvise. It's like I said, it's not an exact science. It's not. Most of the times, I probably had a render made I haven't used, or not use it in that place, and all of a sudden now I have a place for it.
So if somebody was new on NeuroFrames, what would you recommend? Like they wanted to start doing short movies about a certain topic, maybe alien, but could also be something else, right? What kind of tips would you give them? Like what's the most important part to start with, maybe? You
don't give in to fear. Don't fear.
You made it big now.
Yeah, well, here's not even that. To be honest, I don't think I still look at it, and I like the close knit friends I've got. If they enjoy the video, I'm really happy. And it was basically, YouTube's like a free cloud library. You can archive everything there. Now, if people watch it, fine. Or, some people make their private. But I was just like, all right, let's see. Put my first video on May 28th, I still remember. And I made it with Kyber. It was called Replay 1986. And I used really good track. I really like the track. And I just, Kyber is like kind of like a slot machine. You put the prompt in and you're like, all right, I put my coin, here we go. Let's see what pops out. And it made a pretty interesting straight render of what I had. And it really went with the music. I posted it and I went to sleep and wake up. Just like 3,000 views on it. I'm like, really? And people were like, because nobody had even touched aliens with AI at that point, literally. And I kind of went looking about it, and people were like, yeah, and they had it was more of a discussion of what AI is doing and, like what it can do and stuff on the comments. And I was like, you know what, if I'm going to really check how this AI works, I have to really delve into aliens because it's the hardest thing to make on it. Other things, it'll make it, but yeah, it's very specific. And now we're here with this image. This and that are completely different. I mean, you can put this in a movie and it'll fit right in. That's the quality.
That's true. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Well, Zoe, it's been an honor. Where can people find you and your impressive art or whatever?
Just type aliens and space logic 2 together and you'll see it. Literally. Yeah. I think there's another space logic on YouTube, and I think he puts like videos of space stations, so you'll easily see the green logo. And if
the green circular logo is
if you're like inquisitive about AI and like what it's able to do, I think I'm not gonna say I've done the best, but I have tried to like push it as far as I can with a lot of the alien animation I've done.
Well, thank you, and thanks everybody for watching. Like and subscribe to the Neuroframes YouTube channel, join the Discord, go to neuroframes.com, start rendering, enjoy life, and that's do not give in to fear. And hopefully I see you soon, and all the best. Ciao, ciao.